Go. Dun, 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 dun. Tilted balls. What happened there? Were you making any noise at the beginning?
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything. I just see you go.
That went.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah,
funny.
I was doing my deep.
How does my audio sound? It's probably too loud now. I cranked it up because a listener said last episode was like I was kind of quiet.
Oh, you sound good to me.
Yeah, well, hopefully I sound good to everybody else too. I'm having a little whiskey here. You
Awesome.
You made me think that it's a whiskey day. I was gonna have like rum and coke, but we're breaking into the perfectly aged stuff.
Oh, nice.
And you know how they always put like the things on the bottles? So I took it off the bottle so I can remember what's on it. Because Amy's like, how are you going to label it?
Oh,
She's like, you're going to forget. And I'm like, I won't forget. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put that on there and for sure I won't forget. So
that's super awesome.
So yay. Cheers, people. Welcome back to another episode of the Kilted Balls podcast.
Some anise tea.
What kind of tea?
Anise.
Pretty sure I don't know what that is.
What? Black licorice?
Oh, anise. Isn't it anise?
Anise?
We shouldn't trust my... We probably shouldn't trust my pronunciations, but...
I thought it was anise, and then I would have said anise.
Yeah, I think it is. We're going to need... Listeners, you need to tell us how you pronounce that black licorice stuff, because I'm not good. Look, I trimmed. Do you see? I trimmed.
Oh, yeah, I did notice that.
But it's still
annoying
annoying me.
Shirts recently.
I see it. The Driven Dragon.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Is that a V-Friends shirt? Nice, it is. Yep. Look at that belly. Right. I saw that little belly there. Yeah. Woo! That is easily a 2-pack.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You must have been doing the Shakur workouts.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, your trim job looks good.
It's annoying me though, so Monday this might all get shaved off. I don't know if I can keep handling it.
So it's funny that you brought this up. So I was thinking about this today in the shower, and I was going to ask you, but I was like, I don't know if that's not appropriate, because I know that some of our regular listeners are some of your family members, and they probably don't want to know.
Oh, okay.
But I tend to not trim in the wintertime. But that didn't really become a thing till we were older, and I know back then you were not a trimmer.
No, of course not.
So I was wondering.
Look at my hair. Look at my hair. If I'm not trimming my hair, why would I trim anything else? Like, it's lucky enough my beard gets trimmed.
I wasn't sure if things had changed as you got older.
No, weirdos. I still think you're weird. This is weird.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it was 70 today. I probably should have today, but I don't want to too early. I don't want to take any chances.
You're like super excited about 70, and we were like, I got like Marcos from Ava and all sorts of people so excited because it was 50 today.
That's awesome.
Seeing people out walking around with their no coats on, I was like, oh yeah, Michigan. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but 50 is nice at this time of year there.
When it was 0, like what, a week ago, if that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's pretty legit. So we were just talking right before we started the episode, people, you didn't miss out. We are having, so as you can probably tell from the podcast, Kilted and I are clearly linked. The universe has us linked. So when we're thinking of things, the other ones think of them. But what you guys never get to see is the negative is also true. So when I'm having like a kind of a grumpier off day, Kilted is probably having a grumpier off day. And today is one of our grumpy off days, which don't happen very often, right? They're not. More often for me than for you, clearly. But
yeah, just to be clear, I'm not grumpy. I'm just my fuse is short for silly stuff going on, and I've snapped a couple times.
So maybe you don't know what the word grumpy means. Oh my gosh!
Okay,
I meant to talk to you.
So any listener out there, if you find poop in a towel in your garage randomly, and nobody in the house has any idea how it got there, tell me that you're not going to be slightly irritated, and then for some reason the dog gets let out super fast, like beyond fast, and I'm like, maybe I'm just in a time warp. No, blah blah blah. And then, like, literally 2 minutes after that, the dog is pooping in the house. Like, that's where my fuse just goes away.
I am not laughing at you. I am laughing at your internal.
The story. There's a lot more. There's a lot more details where you'd be like, oh, and you still have all your family members. And yes, I do.
So an interesting side note to this, I'm like laughing about. You've obviously been to my house, so you know where the butcher block is in the oven, yes?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say it was yesterday or the day before. But I'm walking in, and there's a paper towel on the floor and a boot on it. And I like walk by it, and I'm like making breakfast or whatever, and I'm like, this is weird. And like later on, like my wife walks by and is like, what's with that? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if the dog brought the boot over, because the dog will carry shoes around and set them weird places. Yeah. I'm like, or like if somebody was cleaning something up, or they're marking us. I'm like, I don't know. And then like yesterday, the boot was still there on the paper towel. Like, that's like a thoroughfare for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody's just stepping over that shit. Finally, like, the wife is like, all right, I'm picking this up. And she picks it up and she goes, it must have been like a dog puked or something and somebody like covered it up. And I'm like, yeah, rather than wipe it up and take care of it, they just put a piece of paper towel down and a boot and never came back, because we left it there for days.
Well, it was dried up after that, right?
Because you know me, like, I'll leave it there for weeks. I don't care.
It's hilarious.
I had somebody come into my room once, like my room at work, and they're like, hey, you got stuff on the floor there, like Cheetos or something. I'm like, yep. They're like, are you going to pick it up? I'm like, nope. They're like, how long has it been there? I'm like, going on 3 weeks. And nobody's picked it up. I'm like, we're going to see how long it lasts. I'm like, I can live.
Happens, but the Cheetos are like folded up and put in a corner.
Well, sometimes they're cheese balls that your friend thinks might taste good.
Actually, those are the Cheetos faces, right?
Yeah.
Remember, there were the Cheetos that were shaped like little faces.
They were like soggy almost when you ate them. I know Miles doesn't listen, but he should. I am seriously laughing about the grumpy thing, because we also have another friend and a great listener to this, and we have teased him before about like racism, and we just found out, like literally just found out like a week ago, that he didn't have the right definition of racism this whole time. And so you said that about grumpiness, and I'm laughing because like one of the things I do when I'm like working with kiddos is I'm like, how do you define this thing? And they're like, what? I'm like, define it for me. I need to know what's going on in your brain, because I can't talk about something unless I know what your definition is and what my definition is. So like, per example, one of my fun things that I do with people, and you've probably heard similar things. You go to lots of conferences and stuff like that. But like every once in a while when I'm getting annoyed with that kind of stuff, I'll be like, hey, I need you guys to picture an ice cream cone. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, I go, really picture it. Like, think about it in your head. Like, describe what it is. And listeners, do this right now. This is like one of my favorite brain things. Like, picture an ice cream cone in your head. Like, get it. Like, really, like, get it solid in your brain what it is. And, like, I'll just tell you, Kilton, go ahead. Tell us what ice cream cone you pictured.
I pictured a double scooper from the original Parlor. Two-hander.
Yeah, so most of you don't know what that is, but I definitely know what you're talking about. I was thinking about a 1989 McDonald's chocolate vanilla swirl on those like old school cake cones they had that was like 10 feet
Okay.
tall and had the top going
Okay.
over. So notice, and all of you probably thought of one, and you're probably like, oh, I remember that. But you're like, oh, I was picturing like a chocolate scoop or a vanilla scoop or a vanilla swirl dipped in sprinkles, whatever the hell you were thinking, it doesn't matter. But here's the thing. If I tell Kilted to think about an ice cream cone, and then I start going through a huge example using that as an analogy, but he's picturing the double scooper from the parlor, and I'm picturing a McDonald's chocolate vanilla swirl. We're in totally different realms. And that's something simple, like an ice cream cone that everybody knows about. So I do it like with cookies with students, because I'll be like, I am picking a Toll House cookie right now because my assumption is that all of us will be picturing the same cookie. And I have had it happen. This year was the first time in forever where somebody doesn't know what that is. So somebody this year was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm like, see, that's why we do this, because I need to know so I can give you pictures or talk about it so you know. They were a foreign exchange student. They had no idea.
That makes sense.
Yeah, right. They had no idea. They were from Germany. And so
Yeah. So my definition of grumpy is just like I think of it more like something all day. Like we wake up on the wrong side of the bed to where you're just having like a grumpy day.
yeah.
Not that there were these circumstances where. So, and I think about this a lot too. It's funny that I think about this. When we were younger, it was fun to joke about poop and to talk about poop. And it was just a thing that we did. I don't know if we were normal or abnormal. It doesn't really matter.
I think normal.
But now, like, it's super irritating to me to talk about poop because it's usually talking about poop that's not where it's supposed to be, that's on a floor or ground in somebody's shoes or in a bicycle tire or randomly in a towel in my garage. So, like, those are, like, that's not as fun for me.
You definitely have trauma. You have trauma. That's what happens.
I do. I do.
You
Maybe
have poop trauma.
Wait just a second. Let me lay down somewhere. I gotta talk this out.
Therapist, tell us what happened. It was the poop on the floor.
It's something that's happened recently. So yeah, it's.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Nope. That'll happen. That'll happen, right?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I feel bad for you, and I am sorry that this whole time I'm laughing, but I literally don't know what else to do. Like, it's so horrible that it's funny, right? Like,
yeah.
So when I tell people, like, I'm like, don't do that because you're going to make me grumpy. And I tell that to people often. And so I use it as an analogy for sad or a lot of things. But in general, what my family tells me when I'm grumpy is that I have a short fuse.
Okay. That makes sense.
So when you were like, I have a short fuse, I'm like, that's literally my household's definition of grumpy. Like, I'll snap at people because I'm like, why the hell am I telling you for the 1,000th time? And they're like, why are you so grumpy? And I'm like, because it's the 1,000th time.
Yeah. That gets on my nerves too.
Yeah. So that's why.
Like once, like twice, okay. Twice, sometime you might not be listening the first time, but after the second time, like no. Like, that's where I draw the line.
So, as something to help you on your trauma-filled journey, maybe 20 or 30 times should be your number.
That should be realistic. No.
2 is not the number. 2 is not the number. 20 to 30 is way more normal than
Until what age?
2.
Until what age?
20 to 26.
I think my kids will be pay attention better than that. Because if I scream, it gets taken care of, which I don't like to do.
Yeah,
I don't.
But it won't get taken care of the next time.
Maybe.
Their brains forget. They forget like instantly. What's the rule? If you want somebody to remember, if you want somebody to remember something, you've got to repeat it 7 times. Like that's the golden number, just there alone, right? So that's like normal
Okay.
people. Like if you want them to get a message, you have to continuously drop it into the conversation over and over 7 times.
Okay.
And that's just
So
normal.
this has been good. I've learned something.
Yeah, that's just normal brain research stuff. So, and I find little kids are way worse than 7 times. That's why I said like maybe like 20, because I'm like, they're probably 3 times worse. So that's more like 21, right?
Yeah.
Like it takes a while for people to get it through their heads, and kids, I mean, their brains don't work, right? Like
Yeah.
they're not made. They don't have real brains yet. So, and if they have
So
trauma,
picking
it's
up
even
poop-
further back.
So picking up poop in the dark is a normal thing.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
why would I turn on the lights? Why would I turn on the lights?
For sure, completely normal. Completely normal. Or like what'll happen here is like, let's say that happens, people will just step right over it. They don't even like notice it's there. Like that's
No,
what
no,
that's what drives my wife insane. She'll be like, "You literally had to." I went up to my daughter's room. This would have been, I don't know, a couple years ago. So we're not talking like she was a little kid. Like we're talking about like 15, right? And there was literally poop on the floor between the door and her bed. And I'm like, what? Like, I go, besides the fact that your room is trashed, I go, there's literally shit on your floor, and it looks like it's been there for a really, really long time. Oh, I didn't see it. I'm like, you literally had to step over it to get to your bed. That makes no sense. Pick it up. Well, no. Right now, you will stop
Yeah.
everything else in your life and you will pick up the poop, because you should have picked up the poop the instant you saw the poop. And if you thought it was normal, that's a whole different bag of issues that you thought poop in the middle of your floor was not weird. Like, pretty much every person is going to think this is completely awful. I don't often say I'm for sure in the right, but I go, I'm telling you, I am for sure in the right. You need to stop everything, pick that up, and this would be a good time to like clean your room. But that was, like I said, 2, maybe 3 years ago.
Okay. Maybe I need to relax a little bit.
It's hard. It's hard.
I don't remember not listening that much.
Well, because
Maybe because,
you weren't listening. That's why you don't remember.
Yeah, that's true. But we got beat. Like,
Oh yeah,
we got beat. I mean, but this was a different time too. But yeah,
but
we listened.
But we got beat all the time,
Yeah,
which shows you we weren't freaking listening.
yeah, that's true.
Because
I guess that's
otherwise, they would have beat us once. We would have been like, "No, I'm not going to do that again. I just got to beat him." Nope.
I always think my beatings were for different things, not always the same thing. So maybe I was wrong there.
I was going to say, I bet if you start cataloging them, you'll be like, "Yeah, crap. That was like the same thing every time." Maybe they were all different. I don't think so, because literally I've lost track of how many beatings I got.
Yeah.
So.
I know once I started running from my mom, it was a game changer because I was a lot faster than she was.
Oh, yeah. Nope, I never ran.
Yeah, you were smart.
No, in fact, well, it was worse because I would laugh, right? The
Oh,
number
so-
of wooden paddles and spoons that got broken on me because I was laughing was a tremendous amount. So we should have had stock in wooden spoons. The number that got broken
Yeah.
on me.
It happens.
High pain tolerance, right? Like, thank you, Mom, for making me the man I am today. Not knowing when I get hurt, because, like, I'm just like, whatever.
This is love.
This is love. Don't hurt me no more. Yeah, I was talking. I had a teacher call me the other day about my little guy, and they were like, the teacher was worried that the kiddo's being too much of a distraction. Right? And I think I talked about this at least to you, but I don't remember. But like,
Yeah, you talked about it
great
recently.
student, great attitude, good with people, super friendly, super polite, but he kind of distracts people. Like he'll reach out and like wave at them or tap them when we're trying to do like reading time. I'm like, cool. And they're like, so what are your suggestions to fix it? I'm like, I'm 50 and distract everybody everywhere. Like, literally, it's what I do. So if I haven't figured out how to stop myself from distracting people, you got no shot with the 7-year-old little me. Like, I'm like, good luck. That's why you're the pro.
Yeah.
I go, I have no suggestions for you. I go, in reality, I think you're fighting the wrong battle. If he's doing his stuff really well and he's being super polite and super friendly and super kind, winning. We're winning. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, the distractions are okay then. I go, because he's probably distracting them because he's trying to be nice and friendly and happy. So I go, that's fair trade to me. So good luck.
Yeah.
Just like when
if
they're
you
like,
figure it out, let me know. I'll be
that's
happy.
Amy said. She's told a couple teachers, when you figure it out, let me know, because I'll use it with his dad. So I'm like, because we've gotten this all the way through where with any of our kids, they're like, your kids have a lot of energy. Like, how do you get them to sit still? I'm like, I don't get them to sit still. I don't want them to sit still. And we have unlimited amounts of energy. Like, your only hope is to try to use up their energy. Make them run. Make them do push-ups.
Yeah.
They're like, are you okay with that? I'm like, I don't care what you do, but when I say it's unlimited, I go, you won't tire them out. So that's just your best shot at getting a few minutes of chill. I go, but I go, good luck. And they're like,
you're like, I'm not putting them on medication. I zombie them out.
No, I'm like, I want kids to be high energy. Like, you know what high energy kids turn into? High energy adults.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's literally what I want. So I'm like, have fun. And I'm like, you'll figure things out. Like, I think Cora, they always had her doing stuff. So she was always like, had stuff in her hands. She always had fidgets. And they're like, she focuses a lot better when she's always playing with something. Yeah. Yep. Like, they have to keep moving. I think Brenna was like always like having to stand or always like bounce on a ball. I'm like, like, that's just the way it is. Like, we're probably not going to sit still while you read us a story. So I'm like, he doesn't sit still watching a movie. Like, he's all over the place. Like, it's just the way he is. And sorry, teachers, I'm actually okay with that. So.
Yep. You're like, I'm not trying to change that.
Nope. Now, if we could get him to listen a little bit better, that might be good. Which
it's a win for everyone.
Yeah, which you've noticed is kind of a problem, right?
Kind
of an issue. And like you said, you don't like raising your voice, but I have like no problem using my big guy voice. And like he knows it, I'll be like, roar! And he'll be like, okay.
Well, see, I don't get that response.
Yeah. You're not half as scary as me.
I am not.
Even your kids are scared of me. Like when I say, get your shit done, they're like, okay.
Yeah, they do.
They do. Because I'm super
I
scary.
use the dad voice. I get the blank stare. Like, do your stuff. It's not that difficult.
No.
But I'm constantly saying, we ask you to keep your stuff clean. We ask you to take care of your dog. That's it. Like, clean up after yourself and clean up after your dog. Or better yet, preempt the dog from needing to be cleaned up.
See, but they know you won't train judo with them. Right? Is it judo that he does or jujitsu?
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, see, he knows you're not going to do jujitsu. Right? Every one of my kids knows they're going to be on a wrestling mat in a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe I need to start doing jiu-jitsu.
Like, hey, remember? Like today, I was like, maybe you need some spankings. Nope. Let's battle. Okay. Bam. That's not fair. I'm like, we're battling and you need spankings anyway. Sounds fair to me. These don't count as spankings. That's what he said. He goes, these don't count as spankings when we're wrestling. I'm like, all right.
That's funny. That's funny.
It's the way.
Yeah, he's like, I actually came pretty close today with Coach Paul, which is cool. But I'm like, he's not going as hard as he says he's going hard. Like, no, he's not. You're a 10-year-old boy. He's a whatever belt he is. He's not going hard. He wants you to feel good. And I said you need to have these little wins.
Yes.
Especially like sometimes when it's just him there, it's just him and the coach, which is awesome because it's one-on-one.
Right, fantastic.
But he's not wrestling another 10-year-old kid. He's wrestling a grown man.
Yes. Well, and you don't want him thinking when he sees a grown man, like, I could beat that super black belt coach. I can take out this guy. He's being mean to my mom. No, my friends, you cannot. You cannot.
Yeah.
Don't fill them with that kind of confidence. I just had a kiddo who spent, did he spend a couple hours in the hospital because he had his first wrestling season. Not great. We're working on him. He got into a fight. The kid beat him up. I'm like, you weren't ready for a fight. Like, you should know that right now. Like, you got the crap kicked out of you all year.
Uh-huh.
You're in a combat
especially in the street brawl.
Yes.
Like even like you're training in any sort of street fight, unless you can get in the grapple, you're gonna have a tough time.
Yup. You better know
as
what you're doing.
MMA has shown time after time.
Yep.
You need to do something else besides just be a grappler.
You got to be able to get him there. Oh, yay. Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh. Oh, see, we did figure that out. I don't think we were live when we figured that out. I was scratching.
Right? Isn't it if you hold it?
Okay, I thought that's what happened because I scratched like this. I thought
Do
maybe
two
when I
thumbs
brought
up.
my arm
Wasn't
across.
two thumbs up do something? There it is.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
That's awesome.
Woo-hoo!
Look at these cool things we found, people. Does that one do one? Oh, yeah. What's that supposed to do?
No.
It's
All right, I must have got it
distracting.
turned off.
Yeah, because it was something like this, wasn't it? Was it this? Do this one. Do like bull horns. No?
I thought it was
Is
this.
it this? Hang 10?
No.
Oh, man. It was definitely one of those. Like, it would do it. Maybe just hold him still. Epileptic. There it is! It was the bull horns.
Uh-huh.
It was double bull horns. Look at that, people. We learned cool things. Cool things.
Fun stuff. And if you're listening to this, you just missed out.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry
I wanna
about our
switch
Spotify
over.
listeners.
Sorry,
I know.
sorry, Tony.
We've been having issues on our Spotify lately.
Yeah, it's really strange. Like, it's been uploading weird episodes, and I never got it to work on mine. I haven't talked to him since then. You said you got it to work on your end, so
Yeah,
hopefully
it's
it
working on
did work
mine.
for him.
I haven't
forgot to
gone
ask-
back.
Friday, we were at Mad Monster Friday. I forgot to ask him. That was cool.
Yeah, I forgot. Mad Monster was
Always
awesome.
fun. Yep.
Speaking of Mad Monster, no, totally not speaking of Mad Monster. Mad Monster made me think of it because instantly you were like, yeah, Mad Monster was awesome and it was cool. And I was laughing at myself this morning because I'm having an issue right now where I wanted to make a new term. So I was trying to think of the new term I wanted to make, but it's like subconscious anxiety or subconscious anxiousness, where I'm feeling anxious or I have anxiety and I don't realize that I'm having it, right? And so I was saying today, like, wrestling season's coming to an end and I was feeling all weird this morning. I was like, oh, I'm having anxiety or anxiousness about wrestling, but I don't realize that's what's going on. So I just have the weird feeling.
Yeah.
And then what I did today,
interesting.
I'm recognized it. I was like, oh, I'm having anxiety. And I'm like, what do I tell people on the podcast to do? And I'm like, I've got to think thoughts of gratitude right now. And so I started thinking about like everything I was happy with and everything that was going good. And it like totally was like instantaneously like went away. And I was just laughing because you're having your not grumpy, short fuse day, but you start talking about your Monster Mash and you're like, Monster Mash! So
it was awesome. Well, so it was funny too because Gina was all proud of herself because she was channeling me, she said. So I wore my booby shirt with like I have this really cool like suit coat jacket, like leather pleather kind of thing. But I took it off; it was hot, and so like I've never had so many comments on a shirt. Of course, everyone there was like, "Oh," and when they'd say, "Oh, great boobs," she'd go, "Thank you," because she'd usually be like in front or behind or like right there. So she was having a grand old time. She's like, "Oh, I'm channeling you. I'm making funny."
Fantastic. That is so good. So
everyone was like, "That's an amazing shirt." So it was fun to wear there.
Oh my gosh, that would be great. And it's like, did people like laugh at her when she said it, or did she just laugh to herself?
Oh yeah, they'd make big smiles or laugh or
that's
whatever.
Fantastic. Yeah. I like it. I like that we got to introduce our D&D friends to our friend Deanna. So I don't think she's a listener, but that was so funny. You like brought her up, and I was like, "Look, here's some pictures," and our friends were like. Made me giggle.
Yeah, I don't know if she's a listener. I would doubt it, but I guess you never know.
I'm 99% sure she is not a listener. But you are right. You never know, and without asking her, and I'm probably not going to ask her. Oh, speaking of channeling you, this was not channeling you, but it made me think that I was channeling you.
There you go.
I had like a really brief conversation with Steve, our friend Steve McFarland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was his birthday. And so I reached out and was like, "Hey, happy birthday." And he was like, "Thanks." And then like he started talking and I was chatting back and we started talking about disc golf. He did a league this summer. But I was like,
okay.
I was like, Kilton is so smart to reach out to people when he thinks of them. Right? Because you said that's the thing you're doing. I was like, that is so smart. I go, I wish that's why I reached out to him. But I reached out to him because like I got a notification that it was his birthday. And I was like, "Oh, happy birthday."
That's so cool. Yeah. It's funny because I reached out, because usually Jason and I talk either Thursday or on Polo, and I'm like, I'm just going to call Jason today.
Did it freak him out?
Like, I haven't, talked to him in a while. Yeah. He kept pausing after I said something, and he's like, "Oh, it's really weird not being on Polo." I was like, yeah, you're, thinking about what you're going to say. Like, oh, when he gets done talking, I'm going to make this comment. So we were laughing. But no, he's doing great, and it was cool to actually talk to him. I need to do that more.
Sounds weird, like really talking to a person.
Does.
That's what.
Yeah.
When our buddy Steve was like, "Yeah, I did a golf league and it was super fun." I'm like, "That sounds scary because you have to talk to people." And he's like, "Yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be." It sounds pretty bad.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
He's still West, right?
Yes. Yep. He is still West. And his kiddo, his Finn is getting really old, it seems like to me, but he also has a 10-year-old. So.
Okay.
I don't think Finn is 10, right? Isn't Finn old now? Isn't he almost in high school?
I would think so. I think there was a daughter, right?
Yeah.
The younger one, yeah.
Yep.
I would think she's 10.
Have you ever played Pass the Pigs?
Yes.
I saw that in our game thing yesterday, and Cal was looking for a game to play, so he played Pass the Pigs, and he made our wife sit down with us and play. Oh my gosh, he was laughing the entire time. He thought that he goes, awesome. "This is my new favorite game." So, people, if you don't know what Pass the Pig is, highly recommend. Cal thinks it's the best game ever. So
that might be a good one for family time.
I told him it's really good for camping. I go, I'm like, I bought this for camping. Because Amy was like, "Did we get that from my family?" I'm like, "No, I bought that. I literally bought it for camping."
Yeah.
Every score sheet is still in there from every time we've played, which is 6-7 times. So, but it's an awesome game. But
it is.
But I was thinking that was something I didn't do with the girls, and I'm like, I'm not making that mistake with the little guy. I'm like, he is playing games. We're gonna play Risk. We're gonna play Monopoly. We're playing those games because that's kind of what shaped me. And I'm like, I kind of want to shape him. So.
I know. I love playing games with Oliver. Morgan's not quite old enough yet, but Ollie and I will play hotels.
Nice.
And it's fun. He beat me once. I made a lot of mistakes,
As
but he
two
beat me.
People?
He knows.
Isn't it hard to play hotels with two people?
It's hard. It's really hard.
I would think so. But those are
Yeah.
some good lessons right there.
I mean, hotels is cool because it's like you get to build it, and it's faster than Monopoly. Similar
Yes.
ideas, you remember, but just it's a little faster game.
You know what game I miss that I want to play? I know people were kind of deviating here, but
Oh,
what was the one where you like got to be Past Lives? I was like
Past
Catherine the
Lives.
Great. Past Lives.
An old Avalon Hill game. That
you
game rules.
Do you still have that?
Mm.
Man,
Yes, I do.
oh shoot! I just lost my screen. I got to minimize this screen to keep me up. I'm gonna look up Past Lives right now. See if you can still buy it. That was a great game. I kind of want to play it again.
Yeah. It's the box is so beat up. Like one side of the lid is like regular cardboard, and it's like duct taped on and everything. But I still have all the pieces inside of it.
You can
That
get it
was
on
one-
eBay for 35.
Really, that seems like a great deal.
I'm like looking.
Is it complete?
Oh wait, I think I found
So, yeah.
one at Noble Night Games for 25.
I think my uncle had gotten it for Christmas one year before he went to college, and this would have been late 80s, maybe like 86, 87, and we played it, and every time I went to grandma's I always wanted to play it, and then one time I just asked if I could take it, because all the kids were out of the house.
Yeah, and they said yes.
So yeah.
I'm looking it up on Amazon.
It's that cheap, $25. That's awesome. Well, someone bought
It's not
Avalon
on
Hill, right?
Amazon. Yeah.
Are they re-releasing it? Is that where you're?
No, no,
how
no,
you
no,
found
no.
it?
It's like the old school one on eBay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like I found it in another spot. Where's this? If I go to right now, I'm on Board Game Geek, and it
Yeah.
says Noble Night Games has it for 25. So I'm going there. Only 2 left in stock. Condition fair. Fair. Very well used, but complete and usable. May have flaws.
Board Game Geek only rated a 4.4 out of 10. They must not be playing with cool people.
They are probably not playing with cool people. So
Yeah, I love
kind of
that.
want it better than a fair condition.
Okay, Amazon has a 5-star rating on it.
Oh,
And
good.
Etsy seems weird. Etsy.
eBay, it's out of stock, it says.
Yeah, I see that. But yeah, great game, people. So what it is,
Great
you go
game.
through the different, like 4 different, like ages, like industrial age and ancient era. So, and you go, and there's different things you can evil eye people. So you're rolling against them, and you can like take all their stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, you count up all your money and everything, and you see who you were in a past life. So you can be anywhere from like the flea that started the Black Plague, on up. There's a whole bunch of different people.
So
And
seriously,
then
you
ultimately
can't
be
like
anonymous.
you can't like find it. Oh wait, I might have found one on Etsy. If I can't find this, I am going to. Yeah, it's sold out. I'm going to have you let me see your game so I can recreate it. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure I
yeah,
can
okay.
recreate anything nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty good now.
Yep.
So,
You have to
people,
bring it up next time.
yeah, for sure. People, I feel bad. We're getting near the end of our time. This has been a very like eclectic episode, which I guess is true about most of our episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy. My busy season's about done. I have one more practice left, and then the state championships, so that's fun.
That's awesome.
I know, that'll be good. And then I can start having time. I was like already getting the itch. I told my wife, I'm like, I kind of want to do a business. Like, I don't know what. And then we started like talking about things and like, things that are like off the table things. Like, I'm like, ooh, let's do retail. And she's like, no. Like, and I'm like, yeah, I go, honestly, retail centers, I think are going to be in a world of hurt in the next 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, I think so. And I'm like, well, it's your business to know. So if I have that feeling and you're getting that feeling, then it's probably going to be a world of hurt. So
Exactly. Oh, real quick. So we had our once a month game games that we play with Matt and Corey and Jessica.
Yeah.
And yeah, Matt got some really nice, like, different, not snifters, but like flasks and stuff, like bigger things. And he's like, oh, I'm going to start an infinity bottle. He's like, you know, because he's pointing out, it, like, you know, I don't know if he just learned about it. I'm like, I could have sworn we talked about infinity bottles like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
He didn't remember, but I was like, yeah, Brian's had his, and I remember drinking out of it and stuff. I'm like, I'm looking forward to drinking out of yours, because he got 2 of them, so he's thinking he's going to do one with his Rise and then one with just other, you know, his other stuff.
I do like my.
That's awesome.
I do like my Infinity, though. Right now I'm drinking really good whiskey, so I've been on a good whiskey kick. So
yeah,
you know.
So yeah, I wanted to share that. We were talking about you this weekend.
Glad you did. Thank you, Matt. I miss you if you listen. So, ooh, you know how you were saying $35 for Past Lives was a great deal?
Mm-hmm.
I did find it again on eBay for $65.
Okay, that's what I would expect.
It says the condition is new, and I'm looking at the picture, and it is not new. And it's $65 plus $20 shipping. But like, I'm looking at that box going, it's not new. Like new, it needs to be unopened, right?
Yeah.
And like this box is like beat up, and yeah, even the back is beat up. And I can tell you opened it because you opened it to take a picture of the inside, and things are in Ziploc bags. Like,
I knew it seems like a stretch then.
You can't fool me, right? You can't fool me.
Unless that was just the one they took pictures of. They stole pictures from somebody else, and they have a new one that they're selling you.
Oh, maybe. You might be correct. I shouldn't judge it too harshly. Kind of want to, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's probably someone trying to be tricky. We had a conversation about tricky people recently, but we don't have time today to talk about that. We're talking about positive things today.
We're trying to focus on the positive, friends. We're trying. But it's been a long couple days. Maybe we'll have to do another episode where we do something else. Because there were things that I wanted to do like a mini of recently, and I don't think I did it. So
awesome. I had a great mini idea, and then I forgot, and I can't remember what it is.
Oh, man.
Oh, well.
All right. Well, we are getting late, listeners. Thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate you. Thank you for being our therapists today. And if you have any extra advice, please comment. Shoot us a message on Twitter or YouTube or Spotify. All of those things. We really, really appreciate you. And this is Ballbuster signing off.
Kilter Dragon Jerry. Love you all.